morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening to you as well.
Watching the news over the past couple of weeks, and I'm sure you've all been wrestling with it, at least in the conversations that I've had with some of you. It's unsettling you when we watch or see or hear or read about the death of a black man named George Floyd, whose life ended under the knee of a police officer who was abusing his power. We are witnessing this moral outrage against all of these different issues, but especially racism, because we know it to be morally wrong, or most people do. As we see the outrage, as we see the anger, as we see the grief, as we see calls for justice, for the end of racism, which we all desire, there is something profound being revealed that might be deeper than racism. In a culture that believes there's no absolute truth, we see people convinced that something is absolutely wrong. And if something is absolutely wrong, therefore, there must now be the acknowledgement that there are moral absolutes that are right. So when you begin to strip this all down, there's a revelation that we're seeing that man has been created by God. There's a showing that the law of God is written on our hearts, that moral standards do exist, that there is right and wrong, that there is good and evil, that there is a need for justice.
So people being upset at the murder of George Floyd proves God. That's an enormous and even counterintuitive leap in logic, because you would think that if there were such a God, he would have intervened instead of standing idly by like the cops who let George Floyd die. That aside, you touch on something I've given a lot of thought on recently, that being absolute morality. Just because people are upset at George Floyd's death doesn't mean that God exists. What you're really saying is that if God doesn't exist, then this outrage isn't absolutely immoral.
You see, if God did not exist or does not exist, then there would not be any truth that is certain, any truth that is transcendent. But truth would be left up to the individual's personal preference.
The thing is that may very well be the case, because just because you really, really want absolute morality to exist doesn't mean it does. In my opinion, there isn't some perfect standard that already exists. It's as subjective as a favorite color. A person's favorite color changes from person to person, and they're all correct in the sense that that is in fact their favorite color. There isn't some correct favorite color or the favorite color.
As you can see here in the Bible, the favorite color is yellow. What's your favorite color? Blue? Well, that can't be, because the favorite color, which you can see right here again in the Bible, is clearly yellow. Blue isn't yellow, and thus your favorite color is wrong.
But obvious, are you saying that in some cases, depending on the person, what happened to George Floyd is actually right? No, that's a wrong question. That's like asking, are you saying that depending on the person's subjective preferences, that red, blue, or even yellow is in fact the favorite color? No, it isn't the favorite color, because the favorite color doesn't exist. Something can't possibly be what doesn't exist. What happened to George Floyd is moral to some and immoral to others.
But who's right? Who's correct?
No one is right. People just feel how they feel. All I can do is explain to you why I think and feel something is wrong, and you will either agree or disagree with my sentiment. We don't need a
because God said so.
If our goal is for the betterment of human well-being, there is ways to achieve that.
John Hendricks, who's an author, he wrote this, and I found it very, very telling. He says this: as soon as you claim that others are obligated to follow your personal preference, then it's no longer a personal preference, but you are appealing to an objective truth that transcends all human opinion.
No. It doesn't automatically mean it's transcendent. It could just be that I'm appealing to our common interest of not killing innocent people. That is your claim, and that is what you have to prove actually is the case, rather than asserting that it is. Anyways, as always, if you think I'm going to hell, like and subscribe to be a good Christian.